ॐ रामो राजमणिः सदा विजयते रामं रमेशं भजे रामेणाभिहता निशाचरचमूः रामाय तस्मै नमः रामान्नास्ति परायणं परतरम् रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम् रामे चित्तलयः सदा भवतु मे भो राम माम् उद्धर श्रीरामः शरणं समस्तजगतां रामं विना का गतिः रामेण प्रतिहन्यते कलिमलं रामाय कार्यं नमः रामात्रस्यति कालभीमभुजगो रामस्य सर्वं वशे रामे भक्तिरखण्डिता भवतु मे रामत्वमेवाश्रयः ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम् The content of the entire Viveka Chudamani is a response by Adi Shankaracharya to the 7 questions put by the Shishya, in which verse number 49. And one of the 7 questions was, Kaha asau anatma? Hey Guru, what is the nature of anatma? How many anatmas are there? Countless, infinite. How many atmas are there? Atma ekaha. But appears as countless jivatmas due to ignorance. So now Acharya is unfolding the nature of the anatmas that are closest to us, namely the 3 bodies, Sthula, Sukshma and Karana Shariram. So very systematically Acharya has analyzed or is analyzing the 3 bodies or the 3 anatmas. So the Sthula Shariram was called what? Bhoga Ayatanam. It is a medium for expression. The medium with which we exhaust the prarabdha karma for that janma. So it is a marvel. It is Ishvara Srishti. So the body is intelligently put together for what purpose? It takes us to places, we travel with the body, we do yoga, we perform role playing, we perform our swadharmas, we pursue the chaturvidha purusharthas, all because of the gross body. Now, in which state is the gross body most well known? Which is the pratishtha? Obviously, the waking state. In the 18 hours that we are awake, how much are we utilizing the gross body? All the time. So the glory of the Sthula Shariram was pointed out to be in the Jagrat Avastha. Of course, backed by the subtle mind. All the 3 bodies are present in the Jagrat Avastha also. But as Vishwaha, as the wakers, we all are utilizing the Sthula Shariram to the maximum potential in the Jagrat Avastha. Then Acharya analyzed and took up the Sukshma Shariram, also called as Linga Shariram. Now, Sukshma Shariram was defined as Bhoga Sadhanam. Bhoga Sadhanam is because it is carrying the impressions and vasanas of countless past lives. So, the Sukshma Shariram, like the software, is driving the Sthula Shariram, the hardware. Now, in which avastha is the Sukshma Shariram very well known? Ka Pratishtha. So, we have to say that Sukshma Shariram is seen distinctly where? In the Swapna avastha. Now, in the dream state, we know the power of the mind projects a dream world. So, the mind itself becomes the dreamer, the dream objects, and the dream experiences. So, the dream avastha is an excellent Drishtanta and Vedanta to point out a few important topics. One is that Maya is the Upadana Karanam. So, Upadana Karanam not only in the dream, but also in the waking state. It is the material cause for the entire Jagat. That Ekaha Advitiya Brahma has manifested by the power of Maya as countless Anatmas and the whole Jagat. Then we see that the dream teaches us the power of the twofold Maya. How the dream conceals, because of the Avarana Shakti, conceals what? The knowledge that I am really the waker. So it conceals the status of the waker and projects by the power of Vikshepa, the dreamer. So the two powers of Maya are also shown here. And finally, the dream teaches us the Mithyatvam of the Jagat. Whether it is a waking Jagat or a dream Jagat, Mithya. Mithya means the dependent and temporarily existing Tattvam is the Mithya. So in the dream state, we are all Taijasas. Taijasas, and we experience a very subtle world and with a greater degree of freedom. Then finally, Acharya came to the causal body, and for that analyzes the Maya and defined Maya as negatively in the language of negation, avyaktam, anirvachaniya, and it is asat, and that is the Karana Shariram. And where is the glory of the Karana Shariram? In which state? Obviously in the deep sleep state. So in the Sushupti Avastha, the Indriyani, Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara, they're all what? Pralinaha, all withdrawn into the Mayikam, seed-like causal state. But I am still there because on waking up, there is a smriti, recollection that I slept well and I was there. And so, in the deep sleep state, we are all prajnas. The word prajnaha can be understood in two ways. One is prakarshena jnaha, prakarshena janati. That is the deep sleep state without the world of Namarupa, without my body, mind, ahankara, buddhi, family, property, possession, home, jobs. I'm still there. So that shows the prajnaha is the original consciousness. Chaitanya Swarupa Atma. But then Prajnaha is also Prakarshena Agnyaha, ignorant. So while in deep sleep, we are all blissfully ignorant. So the power of Maya has put on a blanket, and whether one is rich or poor, a leader or a beggar, a child or a vriddha, it's all the same experience of sleep in the deep sleep state. So then finally, Acharya has also pointed out that when the mind is like Vishuddha Jalavat, when like clear, steady water, only then we can do such discriminative analysis, neti, and arrive at the conclusion that I am Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatiriktaha. I am Panchakosha Vilakshanaha. I am Avasthatraya Sakshi. I'm other than the anatmas. Yeah, they're all dependent on me and they all shine after me. I am lending the sentience to the anatma bodies. So that is the power of, by the power of sattva. Now, one or two more shlokas and then Acharya sums up the topic of anatma. Look at this 123 verses and only anatma topic is going to get over. And Acharya is yet to come to the nature of Atma. So first, always negation is done. What all Atma is not. And then the nature of Atma can be unfolded positively as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Asti, Bhati, Priyam, and so on. So now let's go to the 120 first shloka, where the Sushupti Avastha is analyzed a little more. One more time. सर्वप्रकारप्रमितिप्रशान्तिः सर्वप्रकारप्रमितिप्रशान्तिः बीजात्मनावस्थितिरेव बुद्धेः बीजात्मनावस्थितिरेव बुद्धेः सुषुप्तिरेतस्य किल प्रतीतिः सुषुप्तिरेतस्य किल प्रतीतिः किञ्चिन्न वेद्मीति जगत्प्रसिद्धेः किञ्चिन्न वेद्मीति Jagat Prasidhehe. Now, what happens in deep sleep? Now, we may say, Amma, nothing happens in deep sleep because I am asleep. No, something is also happening there. Even no experience is an experience. So, Sarva Prakara Pramiti Prashantihi. Now, these words are defining the Sushupti Avastha. In the Sushupti deep sleep avastha, there is Sarva Prakara Pramiti Prashantihi. I will decode that in a moment. Because Bijatmana Avasthitihi Eva Buddhehe. Sushuptihi Etasya Kila Pratitihi. Kinchit Na Vedma Iti Jagat Prasidhehe. Okay. So now, we have to understand the samasa again. Sarva prakara pramiti prashantihi. Now the word pramitihi means knowledge. And you all know the word prama. Prama means prakarshena ma. Ma means knowledge. Ma means many things. Ma is Mahalakshmi, Ma is Gomata, and Ma is the indeclinable knot in Sanskritam, Vyakaranam. And Ma means knowledge. So Prama is knowledge. And here that word Pramitihi is also knowledge. Now, how does one gain knowledge in the world? How do we gain any knowledge in the world? Example of this flower. How do I know this is a flower? It needs three factors. One is a pramata should be there. The one who's seeking to know, the knower. Then prameya vastu should be there, the object to be known. Then what else? The karana. That is pramanam. Pramanam means pramayaha karanam. The means or instrument of knowledge in this case are my chakshurindriyam. So eyes are the pramanam. I am the pramata. The flower is prameya vastu. So when there is no obstruction, I will gain the knowledge of the flower in my mind. If I know it's a flower in the chittam, and there will be a vritti jnanam in my mind. This is how knowledge takes place. So when it is cold, the skin informs me that I must put on warm wear. That is the knowledge of cold weather. So this is called pramitihi. Pramitihi is the knowledge. Now, we have also done elsewhere pramana vichara. Very, very important in Vedanta. Pramana vichara is in what ways do we gain knowledge of the world? 5 ways. No? They are pratyaksha pramana, anumanam, arthapati, upamanam, anupalabdhi. So I won't get into a detailed discussion, but briefly point out that what I just did, I gained the knowledge of the flower through pratyaksha pramana. So we have 5 pratyaksha, all these indriyani, jnanendriyani. So there is direct perception. This is a flower. But now, when I wake up in the morning, and I see that the roads are wet. So then what will I infer? Anumanam will be there. Anumanam is I infer. Inferred knowledge is it must have rained in the night. That is called Anumanam. Then Arthapati is a multi-step inference. Like doctors and pilots do that. They will have different measures. Wind speed is there, and the speed of the plane, and so on, and the gravity pull and the distance to be covered. And so they will infer the knowledge. How much time will I take to reach the destination, and what should I do? The doctors also, they will do a lot of anumanam and cancel all the possibilities of disease, and then arrive at the most possible answer. That is called Arthapati. Then Upamanam. Upamanam is, supposing you don't know there's a chrysanthemum, then I will compare it with some other flower which looks like this. Do you know dahlia? The chrysanthemum is like dahlia flower. That's called Upamanam, Pramanam. Then Anupalabdhi is a peculiar Pramanam. If I say there is no elephant in the room, how do I know the absence of an elephant? That is called Anupalabdhi Pramanam. So to know the absence or unavailability of something is also a Pramanam. So briefly, all these Pancha Pramanas will give us what? Pramitihi, knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Aparajnanam, knowledge of the world. Now, but who is going to give me knowledge of Papa, Punyam, Swarga, Naraka, Atma, Anatma? Viveka Chudamani. That is called the Shabda Pramana, which is the sixth Pramana. So right now we are all employing the Shabda Pramana in the form of the study of Viveka Chudamani to gain the knowledge of Atma, Anatma, Viveka, and so on. Now here, Acharya is talking about the Sushupti Avastha. Are any of the Pramanas available in the deep sleep state? No. Sarva Prakara Pramiti Prashantihi. Prashantihi means Prakarshena Shanti. Shanti here is to be understood as a absence, cessation, laya. So, why is there no knowledge gained in the deep sleep state? Sarva Prakara Pramiti Prashantihi. Second word, Bija Atmana Avasthiti Eva Buddhehe. Because our buddhis, where there is the I notion. So if the I notion itself has gone into a temporary state of suspension in the deep sleep, then how can there be pramata? So there is no pramata, no prameya vastu, no pramanam also. The karanas are not available, the seeker is not there, the objects are not there. So bijatmana vastiti eva buddhehe. And that is why sarva prakara pramiti prashantihi. So Acharya is only describing how in the deep sleep state, it is so relaxing because there is no effort, there is no struggle at all. In fact, doctors are saying, this is the best tonic, deep sleep state for obesity, weight loss, healthy hair, good skin, neurological balance, for everything, get your 2-3 hours of deep sleep. And when everything will be set right by that subconscious mind. So, the first line simply saying that in the Sushupti state, all types of pramitihi, that is prama, knowledge, will cease. So, there is no activity, factory is shut down. Only prana. Prana is keeps the prarabdha going. The triputi is absent. Triputi is knower, known, knowledge. Seer, seen, sight. That kind of division is not there. Subject-object division is not there. Like now, we are in the Jagrata Avastha, division is there. We are gaining knowledge. So, but in the deep sleep state, Bija Avastha, everything has gone to Avyaktam, deep freeze, which is a blessing because I did such a wonderful break. A break from my own mind, which can be so troublesome. Chanchalam hi manak Krishna pramati balavadridam. Arjuna says, no? Mind is so turbulent. Yeah. So that is the first line. Then second line. Sushuptihi etasya kila pratitihi. Kila pratitihi. Now this fact, no? For the jiva, the sushupti state, no? Is it not pratitihi? Is it not evident? Yeah, it is so evident. It is so well known. It is Jagat Prasiddhe. It is a well known fact in the whole world. Yeah, that Kinchit na Vedma. Vedma iti Jagat Prasiddhe. So I did not know anything while I was asleep. Where was I? What happened? What did I do? What did I not do? Nothing is known to me. But when do I say this? On waking up. Yeah. The next day on waking up, I say this. And what else do I say? Aham sukham asvapsam. I slept very well. I feel recharged and rejuvenated. So that vedma is comes from the dhatu with. With means to know. So kinchit na vedma. I did not know anything. And that is this fact, is very well known in the world. Jagat Prasaddaha. And so that is why, because there is no subject object divide, yeah, and there is no effort, no struggle. That is why everybody loves to go to sleep. Yeah, and sleep can solve a lot of problems. The famous Albert Einstein, the great scientist, he would rely on the deep sleep state for his answers. So he would write down his formula or whatever, his problem, and put it on the bedside and go to sleep. And he will say, I'm going to relax, and subconscious mind will give me the answer. So sometimes he would wake up in the middle of the night or the next day and find the formula in his conscious mind. So that proves that when the mind is clear, transparent, and relaxed, we can easily find the solutions are already there. But when the mind is clouded with anxiety and troubled or turbulent, then it's very difficult to find solutions. Yeah. So this is again, this verse is showing the glory of the Sushupti Avastha. In fact, sometimes, when we have lost something, yeah, we have lost something valuable. So then you can go at night, you say, I'm going to relax. Oh, subconscious mind, you find it for me. So you give a suggestion, auto suggestion, and it's likely that you will be able to wake up with a memory. Where could that possibly be? You can find an answer. In fact, in the Bihar School of Yoga, Shivananda, School of Yoga in Bihar, and which is headed by one Swamiji, Niranjanananda Swamiji. So they do all these kinds of experiments. So they did school level experiments, and when the children were sleeping, they played recordings of the lessons, the school lessons. Yeah. So their conscious mind is switched off, but the subconscious mind was absorbing all the chemical formula and the mathematics, trigonometry, and all that. So the next day, they consciously, of course, also studied it, and they found quite a big degree of improvement. So let's chant this verse again. सर्वप्रकारप्रमितिप्रशान्तिः बीजात्मनावस्थितिरेव बुद्धेः सुषुप्तिरेतस्य किल प्रतीतिः किञ्चिन्न वेत्मीति जगत्प्रसिद्धेः. Now, one more verse, the next verse, and the Anatma topic is concluded by Acharya. 122. देहेन्द्रियप्राणमनोहमादयः देहेन्द्रियप्राणमनोहमादयः सर्वे विकारा विषया सुखादयः सर्वे विकारा विषया सुखादयः व्योमादिभूतान्यखिलं न विश्वं व्योमादिभूतान्यखिलं न विश्वम् अव्यक्तपर्यन्तमिदं ह्यनात्मा अव्यक्तपर्यन्तमिदं ह्यनात्मा. Deha, Indriya, Prana, manaha, aham, adayah, adi padartha, etc. Sarve vikaraha, vishayaha, sukhadayah, vyomadi bhutani, akhilam, na vishwam, avyakta paryantam idam. Sorry, it should be cha vishwam. Yeah, not na vishwam. Avyakta paryantam idam hi anatma. Okay, na will make it totally wrong. The meaning. Okay, so now here finally Acharya is going to tell us that let us conclude this boring topic of anatma. Anatma, we will put a full stop to it with this verse, number 122. 122. So, Deha. Deha is Sthula Shariram. Indriya, sense organs, no? And Dasha, Indriyanis. Then Prana is the vital sheath. Then Manas is the mind. The fourfold functions we can include. Aham. Aham is the Ahankara. Adi. Adi Padartha we will put in all these various states. So you see how the first word is the Panchakoshas. Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Adi Padartha will put Anandamaya Kosha. The degrees of Anandam that we experience, Moda, Priya, Pramoda. Then Sarve Vikaraha, all the modifications. That is all the states that all these koshas go through. Hunger, thirst, weight gain, weight loss, then intelligence and anxiety. So all the states of the Panchakoshas are Sarve Vikaraha, all the modifications or effects, aging. Then what else? Vishayaha. Vishayaha are the sense objects, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. All that we gain in the world. Then Sukhadaya. Sukhadaya is Sukham, Dukkham, Chinta, all worry, anxiety, all the emotional states, Sukhadaya. And the list goes on. Vyomadi Bhutani. Now, Vyoman is the name for Akasha. Then Vyomadi Bhutani is obviously referring to the set of 5 elements. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi. Vyomadi Bhutani, then what? Akhilam cha Vishwam. And the whole world, Ishvara Srishti, the gross and the subtle world, not only humans but non-human species, the lokas, and all their modifications, their effects, and all the derivations up to Avyakta Paryantam. Paryantam means up to, the limit. Where is the limit? Where did it all start? Avyaktam. Avyaktam is the womb, the unmanifest stage, and which has manifested this visible, tangible Jagat, including our bodies, minds, and senses. We have seen this a number of times, how Brahma, conditioned by the Sattva, Maya, and begins to manifest the Panchatanmatras, then the Sukshma Prapancha, then the Sthula Prapancha, and then all the Jivas, Jivatmas. So Avyakta Paryantam, up to that. So here the list is from the grossest body up to the most subtlemost state of unmanifest, that is Maya. Then what? The last word, Idam Hi Anatma. So we'll put all of this in the category of Anatma. The Pancha Mahabhutas and the bodies, the sense objects, the lokas, and all their the varieties and the modifications, derivatives, the whole Panchabhautikam Jagat and this Panchabhautikam bodies, which are interacting constantly in data exchanging, is all what? Anatma, says Acharya. Now, Anatma is what really? Anatma, another word is Asat, we have seen. Now, Asat does not mean non-existent, but it means Mithya. And Mithya enjoys a intermediate in-between status. It is neither Sat nor Asat. It is neither absolutely true nor non-existent. It is dependent. And that is the nature of Mithya. So the nature of Mithya is anything, any anatma that is subject to Shadvikaras. Shadvikaras, which is conditioned in desha, kala, time and space, and which arrives and departs. What kind of label will we give to that? Anatma. So here we have to use the process of inquiry. Now we can clearly see the body, Anatma, we can observe the changes. In fact, this is what Krishna says, Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetramitya Vidhiyate. So another word for Anatma is Kshetram. What all is Kshetram? Deha, Manas is changing. All of them are intelligently put together and they are subject to change. Drishtanashta Swabhavatvat, Drishyatvat, Mithya, Anatma, iti. So, so this is what we see. So in Vyavahara, we have the constant interaction is there. No? The kshetrams are interacting with each other. But the kshetrajnaha, the knower of the kshetram, all the kshetrams is one. And that is Shuddha Chaitanya Swarupaha. Now here that word aham is there. Now aham will come in anatma or atma? Anatma. Because out of ignorance, I have identified with the kshetram. Kshetram, body, mind, sense, complex. Yeah. And I've become the karta, bhokta, and sukhi, dukhi, samsari, jivaha. But with a little bit of viveka, can I not observe my aham? When somebody praises me, oh, you gave a wonderful talk. Your presentation was so great. You have such a talented voice. Ahankara will be pleased. Then the next time when you post a message, you don't get likes at all. Ahankara will be deflated. So we are able to observe the reactions of the mind in which there is a I notion. And that is why Acharya puts the I also in the category of anatma. But if the I is educated, informed, and sattvic, no, then it becomes the badhita ahankara. It understands that my real nature is avasthatraya sakshi. I have only borrowed the sentience from original consciousness. So let me go back and to be the sakshi. Okay, so that is here basically the definition of kshetram is given here, and you have to recall in chapter 13 also, Krishna says, no, Mahabhutani Ahankaraha Bhukti Buddhiravyaktamevacha Indriyani Dashaikancha Panchachendriya Gocharaha. How the 5 sense organs, the 5 pranas, the 5 karmendriyani, the 5 Pancha Mahabhutas, then Avyaktam, then Mahat, Buddhi, Ahankara. So these are referred to as the 24 tattvas of the Sankhya philosophy, with which the whole Jagat is constituted. But for us, they're all mithya. And they are made sentient, empowered by Brahma. But the Sankhya philosophy, for them, this is mithya is satyam. So like that, there are different schools of thought, and we will not get into that now. So 122 is listing out all the anatmas, and with that, the Shariratrayam topic is over. Dehendriya prana manohamadayah sarve vikara vishaya sukhadayah vyomadi bhutanya kilam navicha vishvam avyakta paryantamidam hyanatma. Next, 123. Here, as I said, there is no proper meter, so we will just read it in prose style. Maya Maya Karyam Sarvam Maya Karyam Sarvam Mahadadi Deha Paryantam Asad Idamanatma Tattvam Vidhi Asad Idamanatma Tattvam Vidhi Tvam maru marichika kalpam. Tvam maru marichika kalpam. Maya Maya karyam sarvam. Mahat adi deha paryantam asat. Idam anatma tattvam vidhi. Tvam maru marichika kalpam. So now, yeah, actually, this is the last verse on Anatma. So, Maya. So, what is Maya? We have seen so many words for Maya: Prakritihi, Shaktihi, Avyaktam, Anadihi, Anirvachaniya. That is Maya, the power of Brahma. Then, what does it do? It modifies into Maya Karyam Sarvam. Maya Karya means the effects, the derivations, the modifications of Maya, which we just saw in the earlier verse. Sarvam. Mahat Adi Deha Paryantam. Mahat Adi is Deha Paryantam. So we have seen this in the Upanishads also. The first there is Sadeva. Sadeva Saumya Idamakre Asit comes in the Chandogya Upanishad. Sat alone was there. There's only one. Then what happened? A sankalpa came into the mind of Ishvara. Sankalpa that may have become many, which means the time for Srishti to begin has come. So from that Avyaktam, a wave is there. There's a Prathamaja, the cosmic mind, which is often personified as Hiranyagarbha. And then from the cosmic mind, all the DNA and the software is there to manifest a whole Srishti. And that is what Hiranyagarbha does, the creator, Srishtikarta. Then the whole Sukshma Prapancha is set up in place, the laws, the functions, and then the hardware, the gross Prapancha. So, Mahat. So, first there is a cosmic intellect, then cosmic mind, then the cosmic body, and then finally we have the individual bodies, individual minds, and intellects. So, Mahat Adi Deha Paryantam, up to, starting from Avyaktam Mahat and up to this Sthula Shariram Paryantam, second line, Acharya says Asat Idam. Yeah? Same thing. In the earlier verse, Acharya said Anatma, and now another word is used Asat. Now we have to understand Asat as Mithya. Na Sat iti Asat. So Asat idam Anatma Tattvam. Anatma Tattvam has come here also. So that Asat is Anatma. Anatma because it is a kshetram. It is put together, it is subject to change, and it can be experienced. So whatever is experienced, how can I be it? No, I experience my body. I see the changes. Then I experience my the mind also, the emotions it goes through in a single day. I cannot be the mind because I am the experiencer. No, I am the subject, whereas all these are objects, kshetram. So that's the same idea is kind of repeated here. Asat idam anatma tattvam vidhi. Vidhi is lot. You understand. Guru is telling the Shishya. Tvam vidhi. You understand. And the last word is a drishtanta. Maru marichika kalpam. So the whole jagat is like Maru marichika. Now the word Maru is not Tamil Maru, but it is desert. Maru means desert and Marichika is mirage waters. Now, often on a hot summer day, don't we see on the road, there's a sloping road. You can see the water there also. It looks like the road is wet. So, too, in a desert, we see the appearance of water, which is like which is an illusion. It is an appearance. It's not really there. Now, with that example, Acharya is going to tell us that the whole Jagat is like Maru Marichika. Like the mirage waters which appear, but which has no standing power, which is not really there. It is mithya. Nama Rupa Kriyatmaka Mithya Jagat, often we say. Now, if the question comes, how can Acharya say Jagat is Asat? No, Mahat and Aham, the body, Deha, Paryantam. How can it be Asat, Anatma, or Mithya? Because I experience it. It is so tangible, it is visible. I am unable to understand this. If the Shishya says, then we have to understand that, no? What appears is not always true. Experientially, something may be correct. But when we investigate on inquiry, what happens? It reveals another truth. Many examples we can point out here, like the sunrise. The sun appears to rise in the east and move towards the west, but science tells us no. It is you who are moving. You are on the earth. You are moving. The sun is stationary. Then, we had all these theories, no? Earlier, in the medieval times, there was the heliocentric theory of the galaxy, solar system. Earth is a center, everything is revolving around the earth. Then later only, geo first, then helio later. Helio later, it was established that the sun is really the center and all the planets are going around it. So this shows that there's a certain perception of Nama Rupa. But when I have the subtle drishti, then that will go deeper and reveal a subtle perception, the essence. And that is what is talked about here. That is all the Nama Rupas, the bodies, no doubt they appear. But how much importance are we giving to them? We cannot give absolute importance to the entire Jagat because the Jagat is like our shadow. No? Elsewhere, Acharya will say, we all go out on a sunny day or at night also. Then when there is light around us, a shadow will be there. Now, is the shadow an independently existing entity? No. The shadow depends on this body, right? Wherever there's a body, there'll be a shadow. So, like that, the Jagat is not independently existing. It depends on Maya, no? The Shuddha Chaitanyam. And it depends on, Jagat is manifested by the power of Maya. And again, the Maya will withdraw the Jagat. So, here the example is something may be experientially true, like the mirage waters. But when I go closer and I investigate it, there is only desert sand. So, many such examples are there. Like that in the Mahabharatam, there is Duryodhana. Remember, there is a story of that Maya Sabha, and Duryodhana goes into the hall of illusions, no? And he sees he sees a beautiful crystal clear lake-like surface, and he wants to dip in it. And he pulls up his clothes and he finds that it's a hard floor and he slips and falls. No? Then in another room, there is beautiful water lilies and lotuses, growing, no? On a very polished floor, polished surface. No? But this time, what does he think? He thinks it is a floor. And then he steps into it and it's water. Yeah. So these stories say that what appears may not really be true. There is something more than meets the eye, as they say in English. No? So one has to read between the lines, and that is only a superficial facade, whatever appears. Yeah. I remember when I was in Germany, and some of us were there, few Indians were there. And in Germany, everything is shining, right? Crystal clear. Vani Devi will know this better. So once or twice we bumped into a glass door, which is very clear, and we thought there's no door. So we wanted to walk through it and we got hurt. And then the ashram people said, okay, we'll have to put a sticker, Om sticker or something, so that you know that there is a glass. So clean and polished are their windows and doors, And so what appears is not the ultimate truth, is the point here. Look at the second line. Asat iti anatma tattvam vidhi. Tvam. You understand what appears, what arrives and departs, what changes is mithya. Anatma. Like Maru Marichika Kalpam. Like the mirage waters. Okay. So that is all there is to this shloka. Maya Maya Karyam Sarvam Mahadadideha Paryantam Asat Idamanatma Tattvam Vidhitvam Maru Marichika Kalpam. Let's do the last one. Now, finally, after 123 verses, Acharya is taking up the next topic, which is Atma. Finally. अथ ते सम्प्रवक्ष्यामि स्वरूपं परमात्मनः यद्विज्ञाय नरो बन्धात् मुक्तः कैवल्यमश्नुते अथ ते सम्प्रवक्ष्यामि स्वरूपं परमात्मनः यद्विज्ञाय नरो बन्धात् मुक्तः कैवल्यमश्नुते अथ अथ ते सम्प्रवक्ष्यामि स्वरूपं परमात्मनः यत् विज्ञाय नरः बन्धात् मुक्तः कैवल्यम् अश्नुते. Now, atha means now, anantaram, hereafter. Once in one satsang in Rishikesh, one Pandit came and he unfolded 108 names for atha. So, etymologically in Sanskritam, so many meanings we can find with one word. No? And atha Brahma Jignasa, Athato Brahma Jignasa is the very first Brahma Sutra. And Puja Swamiji unfolded that sutra for 3 months, believe it or not, every day. That deep Brahma Sutras are. So, atha means now. Now, what does now mean? Now means after 123 verses of Viveka Chudamani, Acharya says, we have covered the prayer verses, sadhana chatushtayam, the closest 3 anatma bodies, and also the nature of Maya. Now, atha te to you sampravakshami, samyak prakarshena vakshyami. I will tell you very well. I will teach you, says the Acharya. Teach you what? Swarupam Paramatmanaha. The Swarupa, the nature of Atma. Now, the Sampravakshyami, it is said that the teacher will teach until the students get bored and fed up. So much repetition will be there. Yeah, again and again, same thing, Atma, Brahma, Brahma, Atma. Same thing will be there. So Swamiji will say that if you are still able to listen to the same topic for the 100th time, then you are the real heroes. You are survivors. You have staying power. You have genuine spiritual curiosity. Otherwise anybody can easily dismiss. I've heard this. I know this already. So that is the Sampravakshyami. So Puja Swamiji will say, you just have to rest and relax, keep an open mind. I will do the job. I means the Shastra will enter your mind and I will place the seed in the mind which will bear fruit in the future. But for that, the students have to have a mature, prepared, qualified mind. Not 100%, but some degree of sadhana chatushyam should be there to want to listen. In fact, it said, Advaita Vasana Ishvara Anugrahat Eva. Only if the great punyam is there in our life, in our account, will we even be curious to attend one Gita class or Upanishad class. That is the special punyam that we are enjoying, special punya check we are encashing when we attend such classes. So, Sampravakshyami, I will tell you, now I will begin the Swarupa of Paramatma. What is the nature of Paramatma? The ultimate reality. Yat Vijnaya Naraha Bandhat Muktaha. Knowing which, Yat Vijnaya, Lep Pratyaya, knowing which, what this Naraha, the human being, who feels bound, bandhat muktaha, will become free from bondage. Now, the bondage was never real. So, moksha is also not a real moksha. The bondage is notional, the avidya maya. And now, with vidya maya, the naraha has become muktaha. So, Vignan, knowing here, that is why knowing is important. Na jnanam eva moksha. So now the Naraha, by the grace of the Guru, unfolding the Shastras, has become free from adhyasa, the superimposition, taking the anatma for atma, atma for anatma, that deha abhimana is free from. And once that freedom has come, one is free from erroneous conclusions and notions. Atmavit shokam tarati. So one has the crystal clear, doubt-free understanding of what is Atma and what is Anatma. Atma is real, Anatma is like a shadow. And so the Jagat is like a shadow means what? I will never mistake the Jagat to be a Sukha Hetu or a Dukha Hetu. The world cannot threaten me. The world is beautiful. It is Ishvara Srishti. So I enjoy the world. I appreciate it. I'm grateful for the world. But I will not be threatened by it at any time. Just like nobody is afraid of their own shadow. The shadow, we accept it as part of our being. Shadow has no weight. It has no proper form, no color, and it cannot do anything to us. So then, such a bandhan muktaha, what ashnate, what does he gain? Kaivalyam. Now we have done Kaivalya Upanishad, right? Kaivalya means kevalasya bhavaha, not Tamil kevalam, okay? No, lot of Tamil words are just the opposite in Sanskritam, no? Pramada, kevala. Here, kevala is more Hindi keval, adu mattam, that alone. That is ekaha advitiya atma alone, kevalasya bhavaha ashnate. He will gain that. Okay? That tanmatraha, non-dual vastu. So let's chant this again. अथ ते सम्प्रवक्ष्यामि स्वरूपं परमात्मनः यद्विज्ञाय नरो बन्धात् मुक्तः कैवल्यमश्नुते ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ